There is no need to ever fear losing your voice. If you just remember this simple equation, you'll always be in control of your situation. That's all it ever is. Friction plus time equals voice loss. Well, friction simply means a force that acts in an opposite direction. There's examples of friction everywhere. But in our case, it means when the two folds come together, they make contact, and there's friction between the two of them. The amount of friction plus the time that you're creating that friction can easily equal voice loss. The problem is heat. Friction causes heat, and when those vocal folds swell up, well, then they don't operate so efficiently. Oh, absolutely you are. See, a vocal warm-up allows the muscles involved with singing to gradually loosen. That allows them to coordinate better, which means there'll be less friction, which means you can sing for a longer period of time. Not necessarily. You see, time is on this side of the equation because it all depends on the combination, how much friction and how much time. Well, that must mean you have too much friction going on to lose it in that short amount of time. Because you can't sing for more than an hour. Well, I would say at least 4 hours if you want to become a professional. No, of course with breaks. There's always breaks and time between songs and things. My point is that if you're a professional, there's going to be rehearsals and shows and recordings. So you're going to be needing your voice for long periods of time, day after day after day after day. I would say it's important to pace your voice. Oh, I'm sure he did. Stopping friction is good. You see, doctors can't follow us around and warn us every little time we're causing some irritation down there. So if they see a problem, they say, stop. Stop the time. The problem with rest is that it doesn't change our behavior. You see, when people rest their voice and it heals, then they usually go right back to the same behavior of pushing. That's what created the irritation in the first place. Well, you can't hit the notes when your voice is shot either. So one way or another, you're going to have to learn to sing with less friction. Okay, but what does that have to do with your voice? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're always in control of the situation because you can either reduce the amount of friction you're creating or the amount of time you're doing it. Look, it doesn't matter what sound you make. What matters is how you make the sound. Even classical singers can create too much friction if their technique is imbalanced. Singing with less friction is healthy. Well, that's a good example of friction. I wouldn't say never do it. There's no reason to be overly cautious. Just don't clear your throat over and over and over again. Same thing. Then you're gonna lose your voice. An infection can do the same thing down there also. Hey, listen, all I'm doing is going over the reality here. There are two components to voice loss, always, time and friction. So if you've been coughing a lot, if you have reflux, if you have allergies or a postnasal drip, if you have an infection down there, your vocal folds are going to be swollen before you even sing. That's a drag. But you still have two variables here. You can reduce the amount of friction that you're applying when you sing, or you can sing for less time. Either adjustment there is going to prevent you from losing your voice completely. Very funny. Is there any other questions? Now, what would be the best way to learn to sing with less friction? Maybe voice lessons?